So, hello everybody, and here we are playing our first adventure, Aventuria, the card game, and we're going to play Freeing Silvana. So we're going to play only with one heroine, Mirhiban al-Orhima. She's a magic user. So first of all, I'm going to get rid of the cat. And then I'm going to draw 5 cards plus 2, and then we're going to see what she is going to do, and then we're going to read the adventure. So we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are going to actually mulligan this, because it's not necessarily the best hand she could get. And then we're going to draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's it. So now let's read the adventure. Freeing Silvana, which is one of the oldest adventure modules for the Dark Eye RPG. So essentially what happens is that our friend Alric has called upon us to help him find Silvana. And basically what we're doing is we're hunting some goblins, and what we're going to do first is we're going to do a test to see if we can catch one of them. And she rolls an 8 against her value of 8, so that was successful. Now, since we were successful, we managed to get one of the goblins, and we were able to deter him, so he's not going to haunt us later. So this is basically a couple of, I mean, there isn't that much storytelling in this game. We have to be very, very clear on this. It's all about the fighting. And then what we're going to do is we are going to test our perception. And with a 10, we manage this as well. And we find a secret door. And as a result, we start with +1 card. So we get to draw 1 more card. Now, who are we fighting? Well, first of all, we are fighting Karabustel, sorry, we don't know his name, the kobold. So basically these are his stats, we must guess his name. That's our job in order to be able to start fighting him. So in the beginning he will fight us, but we can't do anything about him. And we need to also draw enemies. And this game scales as follows. A lot of this depends on the number of heroes, not players, that are in play. And we have 1 hero, so we need to draw heroes up to a threat value of player number times 5. And since this orcish bandit, highwayman I should say, has 5, we only draw the 1. Now the problem is he is quite strong. He has 3 armor, and he has 15 health. And we shall see what we shall see. So then we need to set our timer. So in order to since this is my first real playthrough, I've decided to go easy, and we're going to use the no, that's the wrong one. We want the easy time scale, so we start with 8 time. And this box is an absolute nightmare. They decided that, you know, if Fantasy Flight Games make millions with board games and they don't provide good inserts, why should we? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. And we also need to guess his name. So we need to make 3 correct guesses, and we can guess either by singing, or by knowledge, or by persuasion. So she will probably use knowledge. So we've got our 7 cards. So let's get started and see what she's got. Strength control. You can exhaust this card to lose 1 life, but then also, and she starts with 40 life, by the way. They all do. But you also lose 1 health. Astral meditation. Until the end of the round, you get +2 endurance, but you lose 1 life. Armatrotz, that's a spell you can use to give yourself armor. Wrath of the Elements. It's an attack spell. Attributo. That's a good one. It increases 1 of the stats. Invocatio Minor. A very nice spell, but a one-off. Aha. And a staff. And magic knowledge. Okay, so we can play up to 2. So we're going to put aside these 2 as and then what are we going to put down? We're going to put down the staff for 1. We still have, well, okay, so we have 5 in our hands, that's okay. So we're going to put this one down. And then we have 1 left. And what we're going to do is we are going to use 1 more endurance. And we're going to try and attack the Orcish highwayman. With an 8 we succeed. And we do 1 die. 5 points of damage minus his 3. As you can see, he's very hard to kill. We add 2, so we remove 2. And that's the end of our turn. So we would need to discard down to 5, but we've got 5 cards. So now it's the enemy. So first of all, the kobold acts, and he's got 2 actions. No, he's got 1 action because it's number of players. And on a 12, he heals 5 points of damage on each of his friends. That's not good. Then this guy acts, and he rolls a 13, and luckily he does nothing. So that's the first round done. So that's okay, so now it's our round again. We draw 2 cards. What are we going to do? Okay, we're going to assign this one. And yeah, it's tough, it's tough, it's tough. And we're going to assign this one as endurance. Then we're going to use 3 endurance to play this. 1, 2, 3, which allows us to increase our magic stats by 2, so we're now rolling against a 17. And we still have 1 left. And that's all we can do, so we're going to attack. And with an 8 we succeed. And we do 3 points of damage. So that is actually absorbed by his shield, so we did nothing. So now it's the kobold again. On a 2, we get to take one of our endurance cards back. A random one. And then it's the orcish highwayman, and he attacks us with his melee weapon. And he luckily only does 3 points of damage. But now we can try and evade, and we don't. So we take 3 points of damage, so she's now at 37, like this. Okay, very good. And now it's us again. We draw 2 cards. 1, 2. Okay. This is really terrible. Okay, we're going to assign this one because we don't need it, and we're going to assign this one again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 endurance only. We spent 1 more round. So I think we need to make a start on guessing this guy's name. So we're going to spend 1 endurance, and at a 14 on knowledge, we succeed. So we take this away, and once he's got 3, we have guessed his name. So that was 1 action. The other one is we're going to play this card for 2. And then we're going to discard it. And we do 7 points of damage automatically, and he absorbs 3 of this, which means 4 go through. And then we're going to hit him with our staff. And on a 12 we miss, but at least we tried. And we have 1 more endurance left, and there is nothing we can do for 1 more endurance. So that's it. So basically we are done now. We would have 1 endurance left, which we can't use because we have nothing. So now it's the kobold, and on a 3 we have to get rid of 1 of our cards. So he curses us. And it is, oh my god, it was the Ignis Fire. That was the one that I was saving up for. Okay. And then it's the highwayman, and on a 10 he hits us for a 6 plus 2, so that's 8. And we don't evade, so we take 8 points of damage, so now we're at 31. Okay, on the next time counter we draw another of these guys from the deck. So we draw 2 cards. Aha. So first of all we're going to refresh everything. Let's see. We're going to put down this one. We're going to put down this one for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's going to get interesting because we have 2 left. We're going to call down a djinn, and we succeed, and we do 1d6 damage, so that's just 1, so nothing happens. That was unfortunate, but it's an awesome thing normally. But it doesn't count as an attack We still have one left, so we are going to attack him, and we do 2 points of damage. So now it's the kobold again. Oh, yeah, no, we can't. And on a 16, he does nothing. He just laughs at us. The orc attacks us for an 8 again, and we do not escape him. So we're at 24. 25. No, 23, sorry, 23. Okay. So now we draw another one. He's also got 15, but he has hardly any armor. So we draw 2 cards. We're going to bring out an armor trutz because we really need some form of armor. And we're going to switch it on to try to, and we managed to do so. So we have +2 armor. And we have 3 left. And you know what, we're going to just assign this. So that we can do so we can call down a djinn again. Doesn't really make any difference though, does it? I'm going to bring down this. And we're going to make a magic attack, and we succeed. And it's 5 points, so he takes 2 points of damage. And now it's the kobold, and on a 17 he does nothing. This guy rolls a 20. Okay, nothing happens. Normally he would rout, but his leader is still there. And this guy on a 17 also does nothing, so we were lucky. Okay, so now it's us again. Everything refreshes. We draw 2 cards. We really need to find this guy's name. We're going to put down these 2. We're going to exhaust 1 card to guess his name. And we succeed. Then we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Call down a djinn. At 14 we succeed. And we do no points of damage because we rolled a 1. Then we are going to use the staff for 1 against this guy. And on a 10 we don't succeed. And then we are going to use a magic attack because the djinn doesn't count as a magic attack. We succeed, and we do 7 points of damage against this guy. So that leaves 4 that we actually do. 1, 2. And then we add this ability. for 2. Oh, actually we had the armor troops, didn't we? Oh yeah, but it didn't really do anything for us, so this is now inactive. Okay, so then it's the kobold, and on a 2 we have to take one of these back. And then it's this guy, and on an 11 he attacks us and he does 6 points of damage, and we have a 20, so that didn't really work. So 6 points of damage. 17. And then this guy, he also attacks us and he does 7 points of damage, and we do walk past him and evade. That's good. So everybody refreshes. Like this, we draw 2 cards. Well, yeah, and now we get a third one. Brittle. Okay. So we're going to put these 2 down. We're going to two, 3, 4. Bring out a bow. We're going to 1, 2, 3. Play this card, magic attack against this guy, and we pass, and we do 9 points of damage, so he is actually dead. We kill someone, so we can draw a magic eye, a dark eye. So that was our magic attack. We still have 2 left, so we can use our melee attack. We will try, it doesn't really matter. No, we're going to guess his name first, and we don't. And then we're going to use our new bow. And on a 1, that's actually a critical success. We do pass, and we do 6 points of damage. -1 is 5. And that's all that we can do. And that's the end of our round. So next up is the kobold. And on a 5, we need to just get rid of the cards that we have in hand. Then this guy on a 4 tries to hit us. We evade. And this guy on a 15 does nothing. Okay, we're lucky. So now we draw 2 cards. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of this one because it's not really that good. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this one out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to play it immediately. We succeed, and it does 12 points of damage. So this guy is, and we're going to direct it to this guy, so he's gone. Then we're going to use 1 to guess his name, and we're not successful. But we can re-roll, because we've got a dark eye in which we actually get back because we killed someone. And we managed to, so now we can turn him over, and now he needs to, we can attack him. So, and we had a magic attack. We are going to now use this, and we succeed. And we do 5 points of damage, so actually this guy is dead. We kill him. Woohoo! We get a dark eye for this. And then we are going to use our bow, and we're going to try and attack this guy. And on a 6 we hit. This is unbelievable, and we do damage, namely, wow, 8 points of damage. So we're on a roll here. That went really well. 5, 8, and we're going to do our Armatrotz. We succeed, so we now take -2 damage. Okay, so now this guy's going to attack us, and he, on a 17, does nothing. Now that's the last one, so we do bring out one more, and it's Basil the Red. Okay. So now we need to refresh. I'm not sure what happens actually. Does the game end if we kill the kobold? I suppose not, because let's see. Oh, we need to kill everyone. Okay. Good. So we draw 2 cards. We put them down because they are not really relevant to us. Everything refreshes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use one for calling down the djinn on this guy. And we succeed. And we do 1 point of damage. That's good. It's not much, but it's still... So he's now at 9. Then we're going to do a magic attack on this guy. And on a 16 we pass. And we do 5 points of damage, so 2 go through. And then we're going to use our bow. And on a 13 we don't hit. But we're going to use Armatrotz to at least ensure that we don't... Oh, we could also still attack him with our staff. And we managed to do so. Who would have thought? Wow. So let's see. Maybe we even do some damage. We do 5 points of damage. -3 means we do 2 points of damage. So he's now at 5. 13 points of damage. That's not too shabby, actually. So that's it. We're done. So these guys go. On a 7, he hits us with 4 points of damage, and we evade. No, we don't. Then this guy attacks us on a 3 for 7 points, and we don't evade. So that's 7 points -2 is 5. And this guy did, oh god, 8 points. Okay, so that's 6 points. So we're now down to 6. Okay, let's hope for some healing spells. 1, 2. Oh yes, we're going to play this immediately. And we're going to use, what do you do? 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this amount is the amount of life points that we get back. So we're now at 11. Okay. Then we are going to attack with our short bow first. And we don't hit. We're going to use the djinn. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we repeat this, and we manage to do so. 4. Yeah, that's just 1 point of damage, but still. And then we're going to use this one, and on a 15 we hit, and we do 5 points of damage, 3 go through, so that's 10, that's 15, he is dead. We get the dark eye back. And now it's this guy. And on a 19, he runs. He routes because the leader is gone. And we've managed to beat this. So, okay, so this is essentially how the game works. It does not really do a lot of storytelling. So it's more, I would say, it's a mixture between, well, it is a little bit like the Pathfinder adventure card game, in that every hero has a set card deck. You can also build it yourself. I'm just going to zoom in a little here. Because she has, you could also just go and say, okay, she gets 4 light cards for melee and 2 medium ones. She gets 4 light and 2 medium ranged. She gets 12 light and 10 serious spells, and so that would be 22. So that's the max she can get, but of course she can only have a deck of 30. So you would have to put this together somehow. So a maximum of 6 talents, a maximum of 6 free actions. So you can put this together like this. And of course it comes with a pre-made deck that has her name on it, and her so T is her name. That's TM is Tulamedian Magician or Mage. So in that, it's a little bit like PACG, because you have a pre-made deck, or you can make it yourself. You also have a leader and a hunchman, and they differ from game to game. So that's a lot like the PACG as well. Only you don't have to look for them. So it's not like they're hidden in locations where you basically create a location deck, which allows you to add more things like abilities, spells, maybe even loot that you go through, against which you have to test certain skills, and then you can acquire those cards so that your deck grows or changes. So that's not how this works. And you basically then just have to fight your way through. So it's not like the Lord of the Rings LCG, where you actually play a story and where the mechanics of the cards are much more varied, where you encounter locations, some of which may even be beneficial, some of which may just be places that you need to travel through, some of which may actually bring with them certain disadvantages. So at least in the base game and in this one, this is not the case. However, for what it is, I think it is quite exciting in terms of it really feels like a nice adventure. You know, it's completely around fighting. There is nothing in there, even when they say, okay, you test your skill of knowledge, that's just a die roll. You know, you could also say, yeah, it's a contest, it's a conflict of wills or of intelligence. So, and also the story is kind of by the by. I mean, it doesn't really matter. To me, it's more like, okay, so what do I need to test? What are the results of the test's consequences? And then, you know, just move on. I would not actually call this a storytelling game. There is no story to it. It's really just things that you kill. But that doesn't make it a bad game. It is what it is. And I think if you really wanted to, you could go with the story and just read it. So basically, you know, there is an epilogue. It says here that you get 1 adventure point. And then you can move on to the Legacy of Wildenstein, which is the second adventure in this or you could also play People Who Don't Play, which is a weird name for a game, really. So you have this one here. This is also a short adventure, which I'm also going to play. So I am going to play them, But it's, you know, it's one of the things, you set it up, you play it, you forget it. It's not something that you will think about and that's going to leave a lasting impression. Unlike, for example, at the moment I'm playing The Lost Realm, the base box, and each of the first 2 adventures, I think, or scenarios, I think I've played about 10 times. And I keep optimizing my deck because, of course, it's a deck construction game and it sticks in my mind and I think about it. Whereas this is fire and forget. It's nice if I want to play a card game that isn't the PACG, with which I have a couple of problems, that is less in-depth than the Apocrypha card game, which is really in-depth and where I really have to put a lot of thought into it. And it's nice because it is my most favorite RPG game that it's based on, and it's got its art and it's got its familiar weapons and its familiar spells and liturgies, so that's nice. So I really like it. I can't really see this appealing to a mass market though, because there are different games out there that do this as well. So, and all of them are available in English. So I think as far as I know, they've stopped translating it. The 3rd edition doesn't exist in English. And I don't think that they will continue to translate it because, you know, it has to fight against so many other games. And unless you're really in love with the franchise, I don't really see the selling point of this. But that doesn't make it a bad game. It just means it's going to stay in German. So talk to you soon. Bye-bye.